Hello everybody, this is Kyle Ott for Draftradio doing a Modern Masters draft. I love Modern Masters, one of my favorite sets. Just a phenomenal set, both to draft and to play as a part of. Huge success, I think, on the part of Wizards' part, minus the part where, Modern Masters packs are like $20-some a pop now. But hey, it doesn't matter because you can draft it on here for free. Huzzah. We're taking a Knight of the Reliquary. Knight of the Reliquary. I can't pronounce stuff. Knight of the Reliquary. Great card. Tutors. Gets big. Does a lot of fun stuff. And so we can search for any land card that we want. So it's awesome. There's also a Spore Sower Thallid, and a Reach of Branches in the pack, as well as a Sporloth Ancient and Saltfield Recluse, both of which are fine cards. So, Knight of the Reliquary is what we're taking, and we're also taking Una, Queen of the Fae. Okay then. Well, we've got two great cards. There's some other good stuff in the pack too. Tysis is fine. By the way, this is how you pronounce that. You do pronounce that Tysis. That PHT, just call it a PHTH is basically just AT sound. Again, English is just a bizarre language. But the other card that we would take would be Reach of Branches. But we're taking Una, Queen of Fae, because she's excellent. There's some other stuff that we would be sort of interested in. I think Traumatic Visions is fine. Thundercloud Shaman is great if you can get a lot of it. There's a third Reach of Branches. I'd like to be in black-blue if we can be. But, I mean, we can be in blue-green if we want. I'll take Reach of Branches. I think Reach is probably the best card in the pack right now. I mean, there's a Torrent of Stone, which is fine, but we'll take Reach of Branches. The other card that I would like to see is Traumatic Visions. Empty the Warrens is only okay. I have yet to see Storm be put together to its full potential in this deck. In this set, I should say. Most of this stuff is pretty lackluster. Death Denied is okay, I guess. Perilous Research is decent. Mogg War Marshal is fine, as is Latchkey Fairy. Amrau Scout is awesome, however, if you can get the Rebel deck going. And I do like the Rebel deck. Being able to tutor for creatures just at any point in Magic is awesome. So I think the pick for us is going to be between Latchkey Fairy and Amrau Scout, and I actually think I'm going to take the Amrau Scout. Interesting. And there's a Death Rattle, a Sporloth Ancient, Thallid Shell Dweller, a Worm Harvest, which apparently the Life from the Loam-esque deck in this draft works pretty well. If you can draft it correctly. However, I don't know that I would necessarily even want to do that. I mean, Death Rattle is probably the best. Well, Death Rattle is decent. I think the pick for us is going to be between Death Rattle, Sporloth Ancient, and Veteran Armorer. I like Veteran Armorer quite a bit. Great 2-drop. I also like Sporloth Ancient quite a bit. So I think we'll take... the Louis Scott Vargas in me wants to take Sporloth Ancient, and the Ben Stark in me wants to take Veteran Armorer, and one of these things is not #1 player in the world, so we'll go with the cheaper drop. That's how I'm going to justify that pick, if anyone ever asks me. Nantuko Shaman is fine. Search for Tomorrow. Warren Pilferers is insane, though. I mean, Gravedigger for one more mana, but one more point of power and toughness, and potential upside. It seems good. Although Search for Tomorrow is fine as well, and Nantuko Shaman is as well. Do we just take Pilferer? Pilferer seems pretty good. Yeah, we'll take Pilferer. Why not? We'll see how long we can stay open, I guess. There's a Pestermite, a Saltfield Recluse, a Plumeveil. Alright, I think it's decision time. It's high time we figure out what we want to do. So we've got an Una, Queen of Fae. We have a Knight of the Reliquary. We can play black-white. We can play if we really wanted to, and I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to wind up taking Saltfield Recluse here. Saltfield Recluse, no matter what we do, if we're going to be black-white or white-green, is going to be good. So Saltfield Recluse is what we're taking. All right, there's a Sanctum Gargoyle, which is fine, but that is an incremental growth, which is not incrementally better. It is just totally better. The card is awesome, so we're taking that. There's also a Search for Tomorrow, which is what we're going to grab. Nice little splashing. I don't think we're going to play Warren Pilfers, and I don't think we're going to play Una, Queen of Fae. It does make me a little sad. Sporloth Ancient is also up for contention. I think the pick is between Search for Tomorrow and Sporloth. And right now, with nothing to splash for, I'm inclined to take Sporoloth. Sporoloth's just a good 5-drop. I mean, it makes board states if you let it happen long enough. Also, if we can get like wheel like another Thowlet or something like that. Ooh, something just shut down. None of this is very good. Siphon Life is probably the most annoying thing. Siphon Life or Brute Force. I'm not going to play Hanakami. I'll just take Siphon Life. That could win games sometimes. There's the Traumatic Visions that we wanted to wheel, although I think we made our decision. We're taking Hillcomber Giant. Rift Sweeper is fine. I mean, if our opponent is playing like Errant Ephemerons or something like that, basically we're just going to take this as a bear. It's either a bear or a card that cycles itself. I'm not taking Face Vaulter. Yeah, we'll just take the bear. That's fine. And we have a Thallid Shell Dweller and a Gather Courage. So we Echoing Courage, I apologize. So we wield 2 decent 2-drops and a combat trick. Not so bad. So this pack is really good. There's a Walker of the Grove, Giant Dustwasp, Frogmite, Dirkwood Baloth, Errant Ephemeron. But we're taking Sword of Fire and Ice because holy crap, this card is insane. That's what we're taking. There's no way that I'm not taking Sword of Fire and Ice. Ooh, Drag Down is Drag Down worth splashing for? I think with Knight of the Reliquary, Drag Down is actually worth splashing for. The only other pick would be Stir of the Pride, I think, or Nantuko Shaman, neither of which are all that great. But I think with a Knight of the Reliquary, and hopefully we'll wheel this Search for Tomorrow, I think we can actually play Drag Down. So we're going to take Drag Down. Going to splash for the relevant removal. Seems good. Nothing in particular that I really want here. There's a Deep Cavern Imp, which is okay. Grape Shot, which is certainly fine. I think we'll just take Plumeveil. I mean, with triple white, it's going to be a little awkward, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be an issue. I mean, there's nothing else in the pack. I guess I could splash for the Grape Shot and then wind up maybe splashing for red as opposed to splashing for black, which wouldn't be too terrible. I mean, we did see that the 6-drop deal 5 damage to target creature or player at instant speed. It also has basic land cycling. I'm trying to remember what that card is called, but I can't off the top of my head. We'll just take the Plumeveil, though. Okay, so the blue stuff is starting to come back a little more aggressively than I would have liked. There's another Veteran Armorer, which I'm going to take, which I'm not going to take. I'm going to take the Search for Tomorrow so that we can splash for the removal that we just grabbed. I can pick up other 2-drops. We're not super aggressive either. And Search for Tomorrow is going to help us play our Plumeveil and our Drag Down. Sorry, I keep forgetting the names. There's also a Sylvan Bounty, which I wouldn't be opposed to having wheel, just for the basic land cycling. Ivory Giant is fine too. But Search for Tomorrow is what we're grabbing. There's a Summoner's Pact. Search your library for a green card, reveal it, put it in my hand, and then I have to do stuff with it. I think I'm just going to take Amrow Scout. Again, if I start getting any more Saltfield Recluses, I can just start tutoring for them, and that's pretty sweet. So, fills up my 2-drop slot too. At this point, there's really nothing I'm grabbing that's worth taking over that. Ooh, this is awesome. There's a Penumbra Spider, which is just a freaking great 4-drop. I mean, this thing hits the ground and you just, nothing ever gets by you. There's also a Blinding Beam and an Amrow Seekers. Absorb Vis is a card that I would not mind playing because I'm splashing for the black. I mean, I don't necessarily know if I'm splashing for black, but I think I am at this point. I could take Amrow Seekers, Amrow Seekers. The 2 Scouts can tutor for Amrow Seekers. That actually makes it a little bit better. I mean, Seekers, Blinding Beam, or Penumbra Spider. Salvagers is awesome, but Evasive Creature or 4-drop. Evasive Creature or 4-drop. We'll take the Evasive Creature. Little synergy with our deck. Ooh, and a Vivid Marsh. A Vivid Marsh that makes splashing really easy. I think we'll take the Marsh. There's a Dirkwood Baloth, actually. Maybe we should take Baloth. I'm looking at this thinking either Baloth or Vivid Marsh. How does this deck win? That's a good question. How does this deck win? We can tutor up some Rebels. We've got Drag Down. We've got Sword. I actually think we need Baloth. But I can get a big dumb guy. I'll take the Vivid Marsh. Ooh, Blinding Beam or Stir of the Pride. Stir of the Pride is pretty good. Stir of the Pride is probably what we're going to take, actually, now that I'm looking at this. Stir of the Pride is a win condition for our deck, actually, now that I'm looking at it. So we'll take Stir of the Pride. And we get a Baloth anyway. We've already got one Stir of the Pride. I'm probably not going to play another Stir of the Pride. I will happily play Nantuko Shaman. It's both a good 3-drop, and if I want to suspend it and have it come into play on turn 5, that's fine too. The Pilferers is fine, but I've already got a Pilferer if I want to play it and splash for it. So, and I'm not going to play 2 Stir of the Pride. I'll take Greatheart. That's playable. As is Giant. Stalactite is fine. Absorbvis is actually a nice pickup there. Alright, so before we go to our next pack, let's take a look. Alright, I think these are all the playables in the deck. Oh, a second Knight of the Reliquary. Excellent. So we're definitely picking up the second Knight of the Reliquary. There's some other good stuff. Riftwing's Cloudskate is fine, as is Pardic Dragon, Riftbolt, Pyrite Spellbomb, Vedalken Dismisser. All decent cards, but Knight of the Reliquary is what we're taking. Righty then. There's a Cloud Goat Ranger. There's an Earwig Squad, which is fine. Pestermite is good. Avian Changeling is what I would be taking out of this pack because it's a rebel. There's also a Warren Weirding, but we're taking Cloud Goat Ranger. I mean, this card makes a board state. It goes really well with our Stir of the Pride. So, it's a bomb. Awesome bomb. We're actually going to take, let's see, what do we got? We have Thallid Germinator in the pack, which is fine. Another Drag Down. Vedalken Dismisser, Meadow Boon, Tar Pitcher, Spore Sower, Thallid. Jesus. I'm going to take the Thallid. Thallid's actually really good for our deck. I mean, it's not that we're going to be playing too many of these. I've got a Drag Down. I mean, I'm going to play the Drag Down. But nice little 4-beater. Although maybe, actually, now that I'm thinking about this, Spore Sower versus Drag Down. Basically, do we want a really strong creature for our curve, or do we want a spot removal? And I think we just want the creature for the curve. So that is a Path to Exile versus Bound in Silence versus Avian Changeling. Hold up, guys. I'm going to look at this just real quick. I'm probably not going to play Plumeveil, and I probably won't play Kithkin Greatheart. Although I might play Greatheart. I won't play Shell Dweller, however. Okay, so let's do some thinking here. Avian Changeling is good, but not nearly as good as either, or Fiery Fall. That it only does damage to creature. Oh well. There's basically Bound in Silence and Path to Exile are what we're considering. Bound in Silence is insane, as is Path to Exile. I think Path to Exile is the better removal spell. But Bound in Silence we can actually tutor up with the 2 Rebel cards that we have in our deck. And I do like that ability, that we can basically just access this removal whenever we need it. I think that's just better synergy with our deck, and as much as I like Path to Exile, we're going to take Bound in Silence. That might be a mispick, guys, but you know what? I think it's a good pick. Paradise Mantle is fine, however, and Paradise Mantle is okay. A second incremental growth would be nice. Test of Faith is marginal at best, and Warren Pilferers is decent, but we're going to take another piece of spot removal. We're taking the Drag Down. I think at this point we know that we're going to be able to splash pretty effectively. Sorry, that was really fast. We're taking this Drag Down because we have 2 Knights of the Reliquary, which enable a little bit of land. We've got a Search for Tomorrow. We've got an Absorb Vis if we desperately need. So we're taking something that we can splash for. I apologize. Sometimes I talk too fast and I get really excited, guys. We're taking Avian Changeling here. Good evasive creature, and we can tutor for it. So, all right. There's another Thundercloud Shaman, which is fine, but we're going to take Amrau Scout. Going to let us tutor for that Resounding Silence, or for our Amrau Seekers, or for that Bound in Silence or Avian Changeling that we just took. So, Scout it is. Vivid Grove is actually what we're going to take. Really nice card. We've got a lot of cheap stuff, so mana fixing like this is pretty decent for us, I think. We could also take Deep Cavern Imp, and we can basically tutor for that if we really wanted to, or Warren Pilferers. Again, I am probably going to run the Warren Pilferers, but I want good mana. Mana is important. Mana is everything in Magic, so I think at this point there's no sense in me taking Hillcomber Giant or Hanakami. I'm not going to play either of them. Hammerheim Deadeye is marginal at best. I don't need Drakmor Salvage. The best card in the pack, however, is Vedalken Dismisser, so that's what we're taking. Now, this is interesting. There's a Blight Speaker, which actually is awesome. I just don't even need the mana to play him. Or a Warren Weirding, which is basically just another kill spell. Let's see. I've got 2 Drag Downs. I have a Bound in Silence. I have 2 Vivid Lands. Do I even need... a Warren Weirding. Do I need another way to reach out and touch somebody is the question. I think I do. More kill spells are good. We'll take another Dismisser. We'll take the Fiery Fall. We actually will take this Pilferers because we're not going to play 2 Echoing Courage, and we'll take the Sentinel Wood Readers. We raced through those last couple picks, but I mean, those were basically just dregs. So, going to be interesting to see how this deck plays out. I will be excited. I like playing Rebels, by the way. I love playing Rebels. Rebels is just an awesome deck in this format. So, all right, so we're not playing Fiery Fall. We probably won't play Echoing Courage. Right, the only question is, do we want to play... All right, we're definitely playing Sword of Fire and Ice. We're definitely playing Bound in Silence. I don't know if we're actually going to play both of our Vivid lands. So let's look at this. Let's refresh. Let's see where we're at. Alright, so what are we not playing in the creature front? I actually like having 3 Amuro Scouts. We probably won't play Sentinel Wood Readers. I mean, it's a fine card, but frankly, it doesn't do much for our deck. I can cut a Hillcomber Giant. Hillcomber Giant is not that great either. We have a lot of good 2. We have basically 7 2-drops. Wow, why is Vedalken Dismisser in here? That's just weird. Alright, so we cut a bunch of those. Obviously, our Knights are staying in. I like our Knights quite a bit. And we cut our Amuro Scouts. What happened? We should be at way less than... Oh, no, because we only cut 3 creatures and we were at 22. So we've got 23, 27, 28, 29. Obviously, Sword is making the cut regardless of what happens. So... Interesting. We can probably cut the Rift Sweeper. It doesn't really do too much for our deck. It's just a 2/2. Or we could actually, more or less, we should probably cut Greatheart. We've got 2 Giants in the deck. We've got the Changeling. No, we've got 3 Giants. We got Changeling, Cloudguard Ranger, Ivory Giant. Maybe we keep Greatheart, actually, now that I'm looking at that. I'm actually going to play both these Warren Pilferers. I don't think I'm going to play Warren Weirding. It's just a little too unwieldy for us. Although we definitely have the land to cast it. I mean, these 2 Vivid lands just really... We're in a good spot, I think, in terms of mana. I'm going to take Absorb Vis out, though. I don't think we need this as a win condition. We've got our Rebels to dirtle with. We've got tons of big creatures. We have decent removal. We've got... the Sword of Ice and Fire, we've got some... Yeah, we've got synergy. I don't think we're going to need that too much. I'll do another refresh because math hurts my brain. 19, 23, 25, 27. So we got to cut 4 more cards. I think that's easily achievable with our deck. 23, 25, yeah, 27. I'm not counting the land, so... Let's see, 4 more cards. I think what we can do is we can cut the Giant. Maybe we couldn't. Man, do we want to cut the Giant? A lot of our guys are white, actually, now that I'm looking at this. Alright, so what do we... Let's do some actual smart cutting. Let's cut Rift Sweeper. We don't really necessarily need Rift Sweeper. We can cut... what else do we want to cut? We can probably cut Greatheart. And then cut Ivory Giant. And then hopefully refresh this if my computer's internet ever wants to respond. It's 20, 22, 24, and then let's see, what do we else? We cut the Giant. And then maybe we cut 1 Pilferer. Now that I'm looking at this, no, because we've got Knights. And the Knights are going to be our win condition, I think. So what do we cut then, is the question. I don't want to cut all of our stuff. We've got 3 2-drops. I like our little Rebel sub-theme. Do we just cut maybe a Spore Sword? No, I'll cut a Pilferer. I think we've got a pretty good thing going on right now with just 1 Pilferer, and that makes the splash a lot less difficult on the deck. 14. Oh, because it took both Pilferers out. As a forewarning for some of our fans who use this site, Just remember, guys, sometimes it just weirdly does strange stuff. Like, when you click, like if I was to say cut one Amro Scout, it would cut all 3. So, be careful about that. Sometimes it does that. Alright, let's go to Jex. Blah, 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 blah. Janklock Holmes, the greatest detective of bullcrap. Janklock Holmes. I'm really sad that our one deck didn't get a chance to do anything. We drafted M15, and the sad part is M15 is not up yet on untap. So we were without untap support, sadly. Okay, so we got Bound in Silence, we've got our sword. We're gonna run. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna run two swamps, or maybe one swamp. Yeah, we're gonna run one swamp because we've got one Vivid Grove, one Vivid Marsh. So essentially, we've got 1, 2, 3 sources of black mana. Actually, does Search for Tomorrow only search for basic land? It does. Okay, so maybe we do want 2 swamps. No, I think we just want 7 and 7. Or maybe 8 and 6. Well, Vivid Grove counts as a forest. So, let's see. We've got 14 land left. Yeah, I think we can do 6 forest and 8 plains. That seems fine, because that's 14, 15, 16, 17. I mean, that we get a little less value then out of our reach of branches, but I think that's going to be okay. So, Janklock Holmes is a go. Alright guys, Janklock Holmes is ready to go, and we're ready to play some Modern Masters. Hopefully I will see you in round 1. Have a great time waiting the 2 minutes that it takes to change the YouTube video. Advertisements. Alright, I'll see you in round 1, guys.